I've always been very career focused, very, want to be successful, etc. I'm not, God did not wire me to be a stay-at-home mom and have everybody live to tell about it.
I don't think he wires anybody. That's the role I'm playing, and I'm like, oh, this is
it's
hard.
Not easy.
This is hard.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
So,
Hey guys, it's Paul at the Ugly Motel. If you've been stuck in the building phase for, let's say, a decade, and you're not really sure how to get into the actual running your business stage, maybe it's time to consider getting a professional business coach. So today I'm here with Lynette and my wife, Stacey. We're going to be talking about how a life coach, a business coach, will help you prepare and get out of that day-to-day monotony and into things that are productive and actually help you grow and actually help you get your free time back. So if you're in the position of life right now where I'm a small business owner and I need to know how to actually live the part of the dream that I cared about, this video is for you. Like and subscribe. So what is a life coach? What does a typical session look like? Is it a group session? Is it a one-person session? Is it walking through? How do you build that box?
So how I've got a framework of a curriculum that I work with people, helping really essentially help them go from chaos to boss. That's really that's my business thing that just kind of seemed very logical. Chaos to boss.
I like it.
Who wouldn't love to go from chaos to boss, right? So in both a group coaching session, group coaching environment, and one-to-one.
I'm going to name this video Chaos to Boss, by the way.
There we go.
I love it.
It's usually 1 hour, either in person or in Zoom, depending on the physical logistics.
Okay.
And we really look at where that people are, and then where they want to be, and we just start working through those steps. So I take that curriculum and I look at them, and a lot of it is the mindset piece and how we think, because you can really do some amazing things by how you think. You don't have to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work harder. It's doing it with more calm and peace. You can do that. But it's creating some systems and some structure. It's some delegating. It's being smart with how you're running your calendar. Mm-hmm. So that looks different for every person. But essentially, we just work through that point so that it's like where you are here, and then where do you want to be, say 90 days or 6 months from now, and we just work along that timeline to get you to that point. Mm-hmm. At the end of each month, we kind of do a rating scale, and it's literally like a green light, yellow light, red light. Where are you on that scale? So we can make sure that we're moving those metrics down the path, so that at the end of that time we've got some success and we've got the results we want.
I like how you mentioned work smarter and not harder, and I know we hear that all the time, but for a stay-at-home mom or a business owner, we're running to the next thing. So again, we're always thinking like, oh, I don't have time. I literally don't have energy. I'm still up in the night with kids,
Mm-hmm.
and our baby. And so a lot of times for me, I'm like, I don't have the energy to work harder to do this. But hearing that from you is reassuring that it's not about working harder, but it's changing your system so that it works better.
It's changing your systems, and it's also changing your self-talk.
Yeah.
Because watch what happens with people as soon as Thanksgiving happens. It's so busy. I'm so busy. It's Christmas. I got all these things to do. And we create our own chaos by just telling ourselves we're so busy.
Mm-hmm.
And we do the things in the summertime with the kids and all the activities. We just create this busyness. I'm so busy. Mm-hmm. Well, all that self-talk does not help you at all to stay in that calm space.
Right.
People say, are you ready for Christmas? No. But it's all mapped out. By the time Christmas Eve gets here, I'll be ready.
Right. And then you're not enjoying it because now you're just like, it's like it's all, there's parts of Christmas and all the preparation that brings me joy, and that's what I do. Mm-hmm. I was joking with some girlfriends last night, one that had the surgery, and one of our other friends came over, and they were talking about Christmas cards, and I realized that it was time for me to stop doing Christmas cards when the majority of the time they went out between New Year's and Valentine's Day. Right. That's not something that brings me joy. Right.
And we get into with not only with the holidays, but just in life in general. As business owners, then you get the family stuff. We get to shoulding on ourselves. Mm-hmm. I should do this. I should do that. And we let people guilt us into stuff, and we don't say no. And we create our own problems a lot of times because we don't set our own boundaries and say no to people we need to say no to, and delegate, etc. to.
I like that. Do what gives us joy. Yeah.
I'll cook and clean. I'll cook all. Don't clean. No, I will cook all day long. I love cooking. I love baking. Yeah. That's part of my joy, and I will do that every day of the week. Yeah. And I love decorating, wrapping, not so much. Yeah. So I find a way to delegate things, or I just don't do them because Does anybody miss my cards? Probably not.
Right. But we put this pressure on ourselves for so many things.
Exactly.
Because of societal pressures, or we need to do this, we need to do that, and we don't have to.
No.
And I think that's the struggle, is the mental things we put on ourselves. That's a big thing for me, as I'll put the mental things on myself, and that will trap me in. So I think just hearing from a coach or someone that can speak truth in your life of, hey, why are you doing that? Do you have to?
Yeah.
And then you can think about it. No, I technically don't have to, and that's free. Changing those mindsets is huge.
As entrepreneurs, we like to learn from the school of hard knocks. We can figure anything out. It's just, is our time worth it? So a really important thing to take away from this is to learn from the experts. Learn from the people that know how to do it, and then also hire the people that do the things that you're not good at doing. Well, and looking to somebody that's already been through it. Again, you're a self-built person. You're an entrepreneur at heart. It's truly who you are. You have the experience. You've already done the hard knocks. And so learning from somebody else.
Exactly. Get to learn from my mistakes. Exactly.
I always joke that that's the most painful part, because Stacey hates when I say, okay, we get somebody that breaks something that's really expensive, or we get something that gets stolen or something. It's the cost of doing business. Yeah. She's like, but you should have known. You don't know until somebody takes that one weird thing. You don't know until you try to iron the pillowcase and it turns out that polyester can't be ironed, and so now it turned yellow, and you're like, I can't iron it. You don't know until you broke it.
Yeah.
Unless you know somebody who does. If they've already learned it and they can tell you there's an easier way to do it in a way that's not going to cost you as much money.
Yep.
It's worth at least watching the rest of the video.
There's always tips and tricks and hacks. There's always stuff, but how do you either learn by trial and error, or else you learn from someone else who can show you. So I'm now increasing the income, increasing the growth of the businesses, so I can just hire a social media person to do it, because that's not my deal.
Yeah.
So
and recognizing that it's not your deal.
I had the very first boss I had in sales. There are about 3 or 4 things that are one-liners that I still carry with me decades later. And the best one is, do what you do best and hire everybody else to do the rest. Yeah. Because you can spend so much time doing stuff that you think, oh, it's saving me money. Well, how much time is your time worth?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that just cost you? Right. When you can pay someone else. And it doesn't mean you always have to pay them in money. You can barter, you can trade. I hired my kids for cheap lots of times to do the small tasks because they were learning how to do stuff in the business. Right. There's always someone that you can do bartering with or get for free. You don't always have to pay out of pocket. Mm-hmm. So don't put the girdle on your brain and just think there's only one way to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's important for small business owners that are struggling to start up, struggling with finances. They think, well, the problem is I'm limited because I can't afford someone to do that for me. Yeah. And so then they stay stuck in that same spot.
Yeah, there's always an option, but you have to open up the thoughts that there's an option.
Yeah. Again, mindset.
Yes.
Again. Yeah.
So mindset's a big piece when I work with people, because our mindset stops us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's a small business mistake. Don't wait for it to be broken before you decide to grow.
People saying, I don't have time, I don't have time. The question is, well, how much longer do you want to be in this space?
Mm-hmm. Right.
We all have the same 168 hours in a week. It's just how we choose to spend it. I do some one-on-one programs as well as I do some group stuff. And it's really about, where are you right now? What are the biggest difficulties and challenges you've got? And let's help you get to here. And for some people, it's a lot of time management and delegation. For other people, it's mindset and really learning how to let go of control and delegate, or let we all have stuff that limit our brains as far as even our capacity about what's possible and what could we do. So that's how all that morphed into that, is just because I had this life that was really great. And I was so blessed to be able to have that time with my kids. And I saw other families over here not being able to do it. And I want to show them how.
It's really significant to set up that portion of your life because, again, we have life coaches. Stacey and I have life coaches in many different areas. For taxes, we have this wealth management guy. His name is Ryan Berger. Great guy. We went to him because we had an issue with taxes. We went to him because we had an issue. We had a problem that happened somewhere else. And so we had to go fix it. We have mentors in our faith. Again, you should always be able to reach out to your pastor, whoever that person is. But most people don't do it until they're in a situation where there's a problem. If you're at the point where you haven't realized there's a problem yet, and you want to see how to balance it, or maybe you're at that point where you just finally start to feel burned out, and you're like, you know what? I need some direction, how do other people do it? You know, I just think that Lynette's a great resource for people that are starting to ask themselves that question, that have realized, one, that they're not exactly living the life they want to live. All these other little things that we think are a priority, and it's because we were so focused on one thing. So if you're an entrepreneur, especially in the Lincoln, do you do Omaha too, or is it?
I can work anywhere in the United States, 50 states.
So if you're gonna fly her out to Hawaii, so so a lot of my viewers are in Texas and Nebraska tend to be the grouping, I guess. If you need a life coach, if you need to find a way to do direction in your life, this is one of those things you need to make a priority. The big takeaway here: hire an expert. The next phase isn't going to naturally occur by itself.
Newer business owners don't have any research. I mean, I think that's any situation in life. You need a doctor. You got cancer. You need a doctor. Something happens. You need legal advice. Mm-hmm. There's always situations in life where you need someone and you have no idea who to go to. Yeah. So you just do what someone tells you to do and go where they tell you. And sometimes it turns out good and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
If we all want more freedom and flexibility, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So it's about sometimes taking a little bit of the initial steps, and it's not painful, but it's, I'm not a person who would say, give me structure and systems, because I'm about freedom and flexibility, and don't put me in a box, right?
Yep.
But there's something different about creating your own box because you design it than someone putting you in a box, like an employer puts you in a box. And the more systems and structure you put in your life, first of all, our bodies need that routine and structure. Our kids do. Yeah. Your kids need structure.
Thrive off of structure.
Exactly. The more we have that, the more flexibility and freedom that we have. I could take off yesterday afternoon and help my girlfriend and to ever take her to the hospital and do what I needed to do because I have the freedom and flexibility to do that. Got a phone call, needed to go to the hospital. Everything went on hold. Right. Great that I could do that. That I didn't have that day job. But the art of that is being able to position your business that you've got staff that handles everything well enough that you can also have the choice to do that. That's the transition there, and that's where people don't always know how to make that leap in that step. You want to, but you don't know how to, and anything else. If you just go have an expert show you how. Anything we need to know, just to me, it's like just push the fast button and hire an expert rather than trying to figure it out and do college on the 10-year plan.
This is interesting because, for the past, it's been almost 10 years since we bought the hotel. 9 years.
9 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be 10 years next year. Yeah.
Okay.
So I graduated college in 2013. I bought the hotel in 2013.
Yeah, that August, that fall.
Yeah.
Right. And so, again, I think we can tend to be in this rut because we still feel like we're in the building phase. But the thing is, I think we're stuck in the building phase because, again, that's the skills that we've been doing, and we've been doing the same thing, and it's going to get better once we're out of the building phase. Well, if no one is teaching us to get out of the building phase and to do the equipping phase and passing on phase and running it from a different perspective, we're going to be stuck in that cycle of the building phase, and pretty soon we've been in the building phase for 20 years, and you're like, oh, I missed the flexibility, I missed the time with my kids because
the whole point of getting into it.
I was just doing the building phase the whole time because we think naturally the next phase will just occur. But if we don't have the skills for that, we're going to be stuck in the building phase.
The next phase will not naturally occur.
Right. And I just realized that. It just kind of clicked.
Then we have success if no one else has success.
Right. Yeah.